We have with us this morning Sister Sheila Campbell, who is on leave from Brazil, from the city of Salvador in the northeast, and she's going back to Brazil in a few days. So good morning, Sheila.
Good morning, Isabel.
And how do you feel now you're on the end of your leave in Europe and going back to Brazil? How long have you been in Brazil?
Well, I began in Brazil back in 1977 in the city of São Paulo. And I worked there for about 20 years before I had
20 years in São Paulo?
Yes. And then I had a 6-year stint here at home, helping
in administration.
out in administration.
And back to Brazil.
And I'm back in the city of Salvador, which is up in the northeast of Brazil.
Very different to São Paulo.
Very different. It's hot and it's humid. It's a big port city, and 80% Afro-Brazilians, really Brazilians of African extract. Children and grandchildren of people who were brought over in slavery. And until this moment in time, the results of that slavery are really evident in the population.
Was the slavery began about, 500 years ago and ended in the late 1800s? Would that be true?
Well, it legally ended in 1888. But still, people of African descent have the lowest paid jobs, have the most unemployment, have most breakdown in family life. In fact, in all ways, they're at the bottom of any socioeconomic index.
But they are a majority population in the city of Salvador.
They're a majority population, and where I work near the city centre, what shocks me each day walking past the town hall is to see the white people in business suits who run this black city.
That's horrific, isn't it?
Yes.
It's really, everything is upside down. But you work with the very poorest of the poor, women who have been trapped into prostitution. Is that not so?
That's correct.
And your role is in healthcare?
Well, I am a nurse by profession, so of course I always bring that viewpoint into my work. We have a lot of tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis, TB?
Yes. A lot of AIDS, as you would expect, but a lot of other STDs as well. And we did a survey with these women last year, and what surprised even me in the survey was there are an awful lot of stress-related illnesses, heart conditions, high blood pressure, gastric ulcers, things that would really be associated with stress.
And these women have very few options, really, in order to feed themselves and their children, other than a life in prostitution. Is that so?
Well, they are trapped in it because most of them are illiterate. And they're often illiterate because of early family breakdown. Many of these women were sexually abused as children within the family, and the family disintegrated. So it's all about self-esteem issues. Really, most of our work is working with these women to help build up their self-esteem so that they have the ability to choose other options.
And then we help literacy.
Yes, we help them get the skills to do something else.
Sheila, it's draining work. It has to be draining work. So can I ask you this hard question? What gives you the energy to go back now, to face back after a total of how many years in Brazil?
Oh, I've lost count.
Oh, you've lost count. Well, you're facing back now to another stint. Where do you draw your energy and support from?
Well, basically, I draw it, of course, from prayer. But my deep belief that God is in these women and God wants the dignity of these women. And it's the small successes. It could be something as simple as somebody able to read the name on a bus after a literacy class. It could be somebody eventually deciding they were not going to stay in an abusive relationship themselves. Very, very small steps at times that give you energy to continue the work.
Well, thank you very much for sharing it with us, and God bless you as you return to take it up once again.
Thank you.
Thanks.